Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the Lynch clip for the Para 3, the Spyderco Para 3. Now, most of you know one of the things that I do not like about the Spyderco Para 3 is that the clip is a huge honking clip that makes it very difficult to get a good grip on the knife. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box first. So box comes, pretty nice box. You go ahead and cut the tape that's there. Nice presentation. It comes with an envelope. The clip comes inside the envelope. It's sent separately because it's a titanium clip and you don't want the other things scratching up the titanium, which is great. Comes also with another envelope with an explanation of how to install the knife or how to install the clip, and I'll get into why these instructions are the way they are. And then inside of here is an Allen wrench. Let's go ahead and see if I can get it. Tiny Allen wrench and 3 screws. And so then also it'll come with a little card, a little drawing from Casey Lynch. Really nice touch by Casey. But let's go ahead and talk about the actual clip. So the reason that the need for the clip exists, and by the way, I've already installed the clip on the other side, which is how I normally carry it. So I put this clip on the show side here so that you could really see what I'm talking about, as you know, apples to apples. So this clip is just, it's an abomination, because even though it's a decent clip all around for some of the other models, for this model, it is insanely big. I mean, let's just compare it to another knife that is in its size class here, the Benchmade Bugout. Look at the difference between these two clips. This clip reminds me of that Kershaw Lucha clip that just takes up like 3/4 of the knife. It makes no sense, okay? So I hate the clip on the Para 3. It's a huge hotspot for me, especially when this is installed on the correct side, on the right side. I am right-handed. So huge hotspot. I absolutely hate this thing. So let's go ahead and remove it now, since I've demonstrated my hate for it. Well, before I remove it, I'll actually show you the other clip. So this is the Lynch clip. And so you can see this is a much shorter clip. This one goes all the way up to the Spidey hole, and this one stops well short of the Spidey hole. So this is a much better clip here. It's deep carry. It goes up past the lanyard hole here. It just is a much better clip all around. And guess what? I tried this thing without the other thing on it. Absolutely no hot spots. Absolutely no hot spots. Really happy about that. The clip itself is pretty good quality. I'll get into the installation in a second, but let's go ahead and remove the other clip, because I want to show you guys the knife without this on here. So this should just take a second. Okay, so let's remove the clip here with all the screws. So first thing to note about this clip is Spyderco comes with T6 Torx screws. This comes with, I can't tell if it's size 5, H5 or H6, but they are hex screws, not Torx screws. So just be aware that they're hex screws, a little bit different, but they do come in this pouch. Now let's talk about why you have to install this differently than the other clips. So when you install it, what they want you to do is to install the middle hole here and install it this way, and then swing it around after you install it and put the other 2 clips in. That's because you've got a significant amount of tension here on this clip, and if you install it this way, there's gonna be too much tension for you to get that screw down far enough so that it goes past the G10 scale and into the metal, which is where it screws into. So you screw it out that way, and then you swing it back in. Obviously you have to leave it not too snug. And then you put in the other 2 screws. Now, because of there's so much tension on it at this point, the bottom where those screws are is going to be angled upward, because it's going to be fighting the tension. So what you have to do is push down with fairly significant pressure in order to get the other 2 screws screwed in, because again, they're shorter screws and you have to get them all the way through to the metal underneath the G10 scale. So once you do that, you know, and if the screw's spinning in there, you haven't pushed hard enough to get it down. Obviously, if you're jamming it into the table or something, you're pushing too hard, but it's nice, consistent pressure. If you've ever used an espresso machine to make coffee, it's around that same, you know, maybe a little less than that pressure you'd use to tamp down the coffee before you put it in the espresso maker. I don't know if that's helpful to anyone. But yeah, this is much, much better now ergonomically. It carries, you know, very well in the pocket. I've tried it out already. You know, the screws aren't really countersunk, but it doesn't really matter. I think at the end of the day, this gives a decent enough ramp that it's a pretty good clip. If you guys want to see the difference here, I believe this is an MXG clip. Excuse me. I believe this is an MXG clip and this is a Lynch clip. I think that's the case. Oh no, they both might be Lynch clips. I could be wrong there. But this is the one for the Paramilitary 2, and this is the one for the Para 3. A little bit different because of where the cutouts are located, as you can see. But this is, I'm pretty happy with this clip. The only thing I would say is I ordered the stonewash version of the clip, and that's because that's what they had in stock. But it doesn't really match the gray here, and it doesn't really match the blade. So you're probably going to want the polished one if you're trying to match the blade, and you're probably going to, you know, want the painted ones like this black one if you're trying to match the scales. But frankly, I think the stonewash one is fine here because these are gray scales on here, and I don't think it's really going to be an issue. Pretty happy with this overall, and can say that I definitely recommend the Lynch clips. For $19, I think it adds significantly to the Para 3. I don't think it adds quite as much to the Paramilitary 2, but significantly it adds to the Para 3. Definitely highly recommend. Thanks so much for watching.